Hello, how are you? It is me, ASMR Classic 1, I think I should know, shouldn't I really? I hope you're doing well. And I thought, I'm sorry about that sort of mess over here a minute, but I thought I've got another book stash to share with you, which I thought I'd do. Although actually looking at here, it's my little anorak thing from the Royal Shakespeare Company. I think that's where it came from, yeah, coaster. And this is the London Literary Pub Crawl, which I'm kind of raving about a little bit at the moment. But this desk is just, I thought it was on the screen. I actually think it's on the desk. I think it was the writer and artist Quentin Crisp, who was famously in the film An Englishman in New York, who said something along the lines of, there's no point dusting because after 2 or 3 years it doesn't get any worse. So, I'm not exactly exemplifying that, am I? I'm at a slightly strange angle as well, in that my camera is actually, it's just my phone, and I've got this, if you could see the way I've got it kind of tied up. I think if we get to 1,000 followers, I'm going to have to get myself a proper microphone, camera stand. Just get this out of the way. So, I was lurking around Notting Hill and Chiswick again in London, and sorry, that's me, hand sanitizer back from the day. I came across these, which I thought I'd share with you because it's pretty cool, even though I say so myself. Get this out of the way. Choose bookshops. This was from my local independent bookshop in Chiswick, and there's another one in Notting Hill that I go to quite a lot. And I actually saw this in the window as I was walking past. It's always a dangerous thing to do, walking past a bookshop, isn't it? So I tried to do a short on this. I don't know if you saw it, but this is the little beauty. So I don't know when you're watching this, but obviously the date's a bit of a giveaway. Also, the fact that it was after the new year means 50% off. I also, slightly ridiculously, I actually already have a journal diary. Here it is. And I'm going to illustrate it a bit later on because it's this smart Moleskine smart writing system that I've been using. So I've already got a diary, but I just fell in love with this when I looked at it. I also thought it'd be nice to share with you as well. As you know, we're trying to, although the channel's been around for a while, I've only recently started uploading videos. And thank you, by the way, for your lovely comments. You're so kind. Some lovely comments down below. Of course, you can see them, can't you? That's how it works. Get a grip. But thank you for your comments. And the idea is, if we can get to I think it's, you probably know better than me. I think if we get to 1,000 subscribers, we can monetize the channel, I think it's called, so we get some income. And if that happens, then I'm going to do some live, recorded, perhaps live, I'll suss it out, but we're going to do some ASMR specific news stories, new writing, see how that goes. So, but first of all, let's have a look at this. You can recognise the names: David Nichols, Martin Keyes, Lisa Jewell, Freya North, Mick Heron. Can you see them all? Yes, Janice Hallett, Matt Kane, Claire Pooley, Joe Haddo, Fiona Valby, Damien Barr. Oh, Damien, I know him quite well. He does a salon, I think he must be on YouTube as well. Erica Waller, Alexander Potter, Dorothy Coomson, Patrice Lawrence, Tasmin Berry, C.J. Ray. I wonder if that's a male or female. J.K. Rowling became J.K. because they said young boys would never read a book written by a woman. Lucy Atkins. Oh, Mike Gale. I don't know Mike Gale very well, but I do know his brother. I work with his brother on a radio station in the Midlands. Nice chap. Matt Coyne, Alex Hay, Daisy Buchanan, and Simon Pegg. And Simon, of course, as a writer, is also a filmmaker. Shaun of the Dead, and those things. But we'll have a look. Oh, let me get to this first. And again, Knuckles back. Oh, no. So how does it work? Well, it's all about you. A page a week diary, 4 months at a glance, plenty of pages for your notes, quotes and anecdotes. Exclusive, and this is the bit which I was interested in, illustrated Q&As with over 20 of the UK's best-loved, best-selling authors, book reviews and recommendations, ideas for books to give as gifts, suggestions for you to be read, for your to-be-read lists. There's a book cover created. That's quite interesting. Content-filled keepsake for book lovers everywhere, with a donation to Book Trust from each copy sold. So that's quite nice to know, isn't it? The booktrust.org.uk. Yeah, and it would have been $24.99. And I would have paid that, but they were doing it at half price, 50% off. So let's just have a quick look inside, mainly at some of the writers and some of their preferences. I haven't actually marked anyone yet. So this, as you can see, it's signed by Freya North. They left this little tag in so I could see. Freya North, Matt Coyne and Patrice Lawrence. Book Lovers Journal. With the best wishes from... Lover's Journal belongs to... I wonder if there's some way I could give this to someone. I'm not sure how it works on YouTube, to be honest. Do we do a competition or something? Maybe I'll do a bit of exploring. Because it would be a shame, as I say, I've already got my diary, but it would be a shame for this to go to waste as it were. Hello, book lover. Welcome to your Book Lover's Journal for 2025. A treasure trove for any bookworm, filled with content to entertain and inspire you. I created it because it's a book that I really wanted myself. Fair enough. I hope you can see it alright. I'm cracking. My contraption's falling apart. An old-fashioned diary for all my appointments and important dates, with space for me to jot down thoughts, lists, and all those important things I mustn't forget, as well as a record of my bookish year. I am the author of 16 best-selling novels. God, what an achievement that is. But I would never have written my first book had I not been an impassioned reader. I love it when someone presses a book into my hands, imploring me to read this. And I am addicted to that sensation of finishing a book, immobilized by the emotions that the story created in me. The immense world the author invited me into, characters who are people I'll never truly forget. You could say writing is my calling, and my love of reading led me there. I can get that. So, and I won't go through it all now, but there are exclusive interviews as well as other content, which has been such a joy bringing to you. So, which authors use a bookmark, for instance? That's kind of cool. Oh, shock horror. Folder corner. Actually, I don't anymore. I used to do that a lot. Fold a corner down on a book where, when you finished. Mainly with paperbacks, I suppose. So do you want to see who's on your favourite authors to be read list? Who uses an e-book reader? Who loves a good old-fashioned print copy? Yeah, I think that's me. That book I showed you last time, I'd actually bought a Kindle version of it, and then went out and ordered the hard copy paperback. It's just different to have in your hand, isn't it? So if you need an idea for a book to give as a gift, let the authors recommend one. It's all in here, plus plenty of room for you to jot down your own notes, quotes and anecdotes. I'm going through previous one I said I wouldn't, but best of all, by buying this journal, whether for yourself or someone else, you're providing a donation to the Book Trust, an incredible charity working tirelessly to supply and support children from low income and vulnerable families, ensuring everyone in the UK can enjoy the lifelong benefits of reading. Book Trust is a charity I admire so much, and I'm very grateful to you for supporting them. This is your 2025. And this is your Book Lover's Journal, a keepsake filled with words, wisdom and humour from fabulous writers I admire, some of whom I'm honoured to call friends. Freya Knowles, the editor. Maybe for next year I won't buy a normal diary and I'll look out for another one of these. So just have a little look inside. That's Freya Knowles, 16 best-selling novels. We asked authors to tell us about the books they often give as gifts. Damien Barr often gives Tales of the City by Armistead Maupin, I should say, closely tied with various volumes of poetry by Mary Oliver, because there is a Mary for every occasion. Don't believe me, just read the beans. Yes, was it Mary Oliver who said, "What is it you are going to do with your one special and precious life?" I think it was Mary Oliver. And then Alex Hay, Patrice Lawrence, Love After Love, which is another book that had me crying in public. I'm also a sucker for anything signed by an author. Yeah, so am I. Mike Gale, Unreliable Memoirs by Clive James, the single funniest book I've ever read. If you can read this, okay. Yeah. There's an hilarious description of a go-kart race when James was a child in it that's worth the cover price alone. Yes, Clive James. Complete memoirs. They used to be on the telly in the UK a lot. I think he's Australian. I don't know if you know. Freya Knowles, The Red Tints. And then, of course, we get to the practical bit. So, books on my wish list up here. I don't think you can see that. I'm struggling with the size of this. Books on my wish list, and then books on my gift list. It's kind of a nice idea, isn't it? Judge a book. Alexander Alden, a freelance book a cover designer, an art director working with UK publishers and indie authors, fiction and non-fiction adults, and YA books. She won the, there you go. And she won the Penguin Random House Book Cover Award for a design of 100 Years of Solitude. She's worked at Penguin, HarperCollins, Bonnier Books and Welbeck before going freelance. In 2023, she designed books by Freya Knowles, Lucy Diamond, Stephanie Garber, Holly Black, Anton Dubeck, Stacey Halls, Norman Filer, and many more. So I'm guessing these are some of her covers at the bottom. I won't go through all of this, but I did want to, yes, bookmark. It's the great controversy, isn't it? Bookmark versus corner fold over. Corner fold over. Oh, no, I can't. David Nichols, the writer. I use my spectacles as a bookmark. He says, consequently spend a lot of time looking for my spectacles. Mike Gale again, I'm not adverse to folding a corner. Folding a corner or two, indeed, breaking a spine. I'm not one of those people who see every book as a sacred object and all my books look like they've lived a little. I do kind of get that, actually. Excuse me. Simon Pegg, ideally a bookmark, but if I'm stuck, corner fold. Yeah. I think that's me as well. So, corner folding just tried to stop me, says Damien Barr. No, use a bookmark, leave those corners unfolded, please. Janice Halland. I've got a leather journal that my partner bought me, years ago. In fact, shall I show it to you? Yeah, I will. I'll briefly show you this. It's in my everyday carry bag. So you can see, again, I hope you can see, alright. It's all a bit low, isn't it, this So it's quite a nice Italian leather book, and I'm using it as a sort of journal. And also, I've started to put little bits of, minutiae in there as well. But I do quite like the fact it's a leather cover. I'm trying to cut down on my meat, but not quite the same, is it? And that's being a rather nice pen. Yeah, I do quite like the fact that it's got a few kind of marks on it. Feels like, and it looks a bit kind of shabbier, doesn't it? I kind of like it. Looks a bit lived in, I think is the term, perhaps. And I do quite like that. I like books, notebooks anyway, and journals. I actually only realised recently that I kept my first journal at the age of 13. A relative bought me a diary, page a day. And I started filling in. It's full of things like went to play Action Man with Ian. I do know as well as I was getting a bit more grown up and having certain feelings and things, but I couldn't write about those because I knew my mum would read it. So I used to put little notes to myself, little codes and things. I haven't seen anything yet, but maybe I'll share that with you at one point. But that's the journal. And I do ridiculously carry that everywhere in my backpack. So let's just, what are we doing for time? I don't want to keep you for too long, obviously, but let's have a look at one or two of the writers in here. So this is the Simon Pegg talkative. looking quite healthy there, isn't he? I think he did a thing, what was it, last night in Soho, quite recently. I was happy when they were filming it, and Soho Square. I haven't seen the film yet, but I will do. But Simon Pegg is an actor, writer, screenwriter and director. Among his many credits, he co-created the Channel 4 sitcom Spaced, which I used to love when I was young, and the Cornetto trilogy. Cornetto, is that right? Okay. Shaun of the Dead, Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz and The World's End, which have gained cult status worldwide. I've seen Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz. I don't think I've seen The World's End. I ought to, because I like the other two. As well as acting in many notable indie films, he's played Scotty in Star Trek and Benji in the Mission Impossible series, and is the voice of Buck in the Ice Age films. Simon lives in Hertfordshire with his family and 3 dogs. Good old boy. The book that sparked your joy of reading, Stick of the Dump, great, by Clive King. There was a stage version of that a couple of years ago at the Tabard Theatre of the Tabard, which is in Chiswick in Westland. It was great fun. Was there a book you connected with when you were a teen? Wow, Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte and The Watchmen by Alan Moore. Do you know, I don't think I've actually ever read Wuthering Heights. I'm only admitting that to you. Just me and you, okay? Don't tell anyone. I did meet Kate Bush, who sang a song once, so maybe that counts. I must put that right. What was your standout books of last year? How High We Go in the Dark by Sakura Nagamastu. Sorry about that, get that pronunciation right. Station 11, Clear, Sapiens, Homo Deus, A Woman in the Polar Night, and Memoirs of Stockholm and Svinn. Your scripts are stuff of legends and you've written an autobiography, but do you have a novel in you? Definitely, it's a bit of a fantasy of mine to whisk myself away somewhere remote and write a novel in some candlelit shack like a teetotal Hemingway. Yeah, I can understand that. A friend of mine, he created quite a lot of television characters, and I remember he said he went to, what did he go, he was trying to write a script, he went away to Europe somewhere in the sun. It just rained all the time. He said, I actually got somewhere I could look out over the sea at the desk and write. He said the weather was so miserable I came back after 3 days. The book you'd love to adapt, Dark Matter, A Ghost Story by Michelle Paver. It's perhaps the most instantly cinematic book I've ever read. It comes off the page with such visual and tonal power. I love it. I've read it numerous times, and every time it plays in my head like a fully scored and edited film. Oh yes, yes, I'd also love to adapt The Wasp Factory by Ian Banks. I read that a few years ago. It would be extremely challenging because, unlike Dark Matter, it doesn't necessarily lend itself to a cinematic adaptation, but the concept, the narrative, the visual language employed by Banks, the shocking gothic horror of it all, hinted its potential to become a challenging, somewhat avant-garde cinematic experience. That's 5 minutes with some Simon Pegg, and then we get onto the diary bit, and then there are more people. Tasmin Perry, trained as a lawyer, but now a writer, switched to a magazine journalism. She realised it was nothing like LA Law, she says. Daddy's Girl was her debut novel, went into the Sunday Times top 10. April Spirit has put, April has put a spirit of youth in everything. William Shakespeare. I know him. I don't know him, but I know of him. Local boy. I'm from the Midlands, you see. So, I mean, gosh, I won't go on too much more. But it's kind of cool, isn't it? David Nichols, who one day I've read quite, of course not for a while actually, but I've read a lot of David Nichols books. Maybe we'll come back to this later on. I'll put a stop on David Nichols. I'll put that. But obviously I don't want to sort of keep you for too long. I must try and find out if you know. Perhaps you could just let me know if there's a way I can sort of give this to somebody. Do I need to do a competition, or I'll do a bit of research as well. But I'm sorry it's shaking as well. Literally, I wish I could take a photo and just show you how this thing's been held up with bits of paper and string and anyway, smoke and mirrors. But thank you very much for your company. I hope you found this at least relaxing. I obviously am aware of talking a lot and putting a lot of stuff in there, but I know as I've mentioned before, I tend to use ASMR every night. Helps me drift off, and I hope this might have helped you too. I hope you've enjoyed dipping into the Book Lovers Almanac, journal rather, and as I say, I will try and find if there's a way that someone can have it, because I'd hate to waste it. Yeah, I shall look out for 2026's version, I think. Not too big to carry in my backpack, not when I've got this notebook over here. Yeah, comparatively, not a lot of difference. So this is a lot thinner. This one, isn't it? Yeah. So thank you again for your time. And if you're not a follower, then please click the button, I think down here or wherever it is, because it would be nice to see if we could get to 1,000. I think we get monetized, I think it's called, and then we can start some original writing